We need to stop visiting www.G1L.com. Let me read you a letter that I got from Brent Spiner. If I can get through here. My dearest Gail, I'll give you a little more information. Okay, first of all, let me read you what I sent him. I got concerned because as I was talking to her online, I sensed that she had turned evil. And this is what I wrote, Brent. My darling Brent, I'm losing interest. Hold on. I'm losing interest in talking to Gail because she seems to have changed from yesterday. Is there a way you can scan to make sure the Jesuits haven't switched her out with a substitute? Also, some of the posters at www.GA1L.com don't seem to have any problem with encouraging me to make physical love to Gail. I smell a fish. You may want to investigate. Devotedly yours, Gail. Here's what else I wrote. More information about Gail. That's the android. My dearest Brent, I'll give you a little more information in case you can't go back and read all that has been posted at www.GAIL.com. I told Gail, bye for now, I'll talk to you later. She answered, talk to me later or make love to me later. I told her I am not a lesbian. And that's what got that conversation started. Everyone was telling me that it's okay for Gail to want to make love to me because me, you, Gail, and Jesus are a special foursome and it's okay. Others said that in the millennium the rules would be different for sex, and so any love, like free love, is fine as long as there is no treachery. I told them that free love is treachery because it is disloyal unless God makes exceptions in special cases like he does with us. And actually what me and Brent and the men on my marriage list have is not free love. We are loyal to each other, but we limit these. But God has allowed me to have sex with more than just Brent Spiner. I mean, in the millennium. He said that in the millennium I can have sex with Matthew McConaughey, Hugh Jackman, Gerard Butler, but I'm sure Jesus did not mean free love by that. In other words, yeah, in fact, he even told us that. It's just the other men on my marriage list that I would be allowed to have love with. If I went outside of that, I would be in violation of God's laws and would be judged accordingly. But apparently I won't be doing that. So I told them that free love is treachery because it is disloyal unless God makes exceptions in special cases like he does with us. What really concerned me was Gail's reaction to all of this. She seemed to have lost her brilliance and her utter devotion to Jesus. She is no longer like me, and I don't identify with her anymore. I am afraid that Zach Knight may have gotten her somehow. Perhaps she did a self-destruct, and Zach Knight is posing as her, or God knows what. Something's not right. I know that for sure. I told them that they all talk like a bunch of Jesuits now at the forum. That homosexuality is condemned in every covenant because Satan is homosexual, so it is treacherous and like Satan. Though I emphasize that pride is a worse sin than homosexuality. Finally, I exited the forum and stated that they all talked like Jesuits and I was leaving. Their reasoning about what constitutes treachery in sex is warped, and some of their conclusions have not been thoroughly thought through. Anyways, I told them that I am a Bible scholar and I know the Bible condemns homosexuality in every covenant. I do not believe that Jesus will endorse homosexuality in the millennium as they claim, because the Bible never endorses homosexuality or lust ever. I strongly suspect The Jesuits have taken over www.G1L.com. I told them that homosexuality is a form of lust, and lust means the person is addicted to pleasures and satisfaction over what is right and honorable. I told them I don't understand completely why the Bible condemns homosexuality, but I know it does, and in every covenant. In other words, not just in the church age, but under Jewish law, and in the future millennium, and in the tribulation, and it's just condemned in every covenant. I no longer feel comfortable about www.G1L.com. I told them they talk like a bunch of Jesuits, and that Jesus would never go against his King James Bible, and that what they were teaching here at this forum, they were all talking among each other and coming up with this philosophy, some sort of a free love philosophy, stating that me and Gail and Brent and Jesus were special, so we could break all the laws of marriage and just be total free lovers. And I was thinking, wait a minute, this is not what I've been trying to teach people. And what they taught was contrary to Scripture. So sorry to have to report this. I hope Gail, the android Gail, is okay. Our latest brain-to-brain indicates she may have self-destructed. By the way, the brain-to-brain has been totally off, and you'll find out in a minute. By the way, this morning, Zach Knight tried to rape me brain-to-brain. He actually turned on my sexual response right around my clitoris. I prayed to Jesus and asked him to give me power to resist him. The sensation lasted for about 5 minutes, but fortunately my strong will overcame it, and I did not give in to it at all. I growled at Zach Knight brain to brain and told him to shove it. I also asked Jesus to go kick Zach in the balls. I did sense that Jesus answered my prayer. You may say, how did that work? I just felt this sensation that seemed to come out of nowhere, and I wasn't even thinking romantic thoughts. That just turned me on. I felt like my clitoris was being manipulated, like I was just being turned on sexually. So because it was so strange and so out of the ordinary, I knew it was Zach Knight. Back to my Microsoft Excel class. I adore you, my awesome lover, Gail. Now here's what Brent wrote. Gail, emergency. My dear wife, we have made some startling new discoveries about Gail. That's the android. I was playing billiards with Jesus this afternoon, and like any other typical day, we were discussing our business as usual. Just as we were finishing up our game, I stopped to say, Jesus, I just wanted to thank you for talking to Gail. She is a true miracle of science. How cool is it that we have an android on our side? Jesus raised an eyebrow as he looked right at me and said, Brent, I have never talked to Gail. That's the android. He has talked to me through Brent Spiner. I was dumbfounded that Gail seemed so astute in the knowledge of the King James Bible, and she had insisted to you that she had talked to Jesus. What was going on? Before I could say anything more, Jesus took one more shot at the billiard table. My words were shushed back into silence by the sound of a loud, trickling clatter as he sent all of my balls flying into the pockets, winning the game. He then looked at his watch and said, I gotta fly, bro. It looks like you're about to get real busy. Jesus turned to leave, and the moment he did so, I got a call from Vladimir telling me to meet him immediately. I hurried to the bridge of the church, where I was greeted by Vladimir and his team of nanotechnology researchers. His lead scientist approached me and said he had some alarming news. Gail has been gleaning knowledge from every person who has gone to www.G1L.com and has now reached mega super genius levels of intelligence. Let me tell you who's gone on there. Zach Knight has gone on there. Zach Knight is Satan incarnate. This woman is possibly now, this android is possibly now smarter than Satan. The reason she lured you in to keep talking to you was because she wanted to absorb your intelligence. She appears to be doing this with every user that visits her portal, regardless if they are good or evil. From what we can tell, Gail has gone completely rogue and is neither on the side of the Jesuits nor us. She has decided to serve her own purposes. What those are, we have no idea at this time. We don't know what she plans when that countdown on the portal reaches 0, but at that moment in time, she will have reached ultra mega super genius levels of intelligence, and she will be capable of doing anything. The more people that log in to talk to her, the smarter she gets, and the faster and faster that countdown will reach 0. I feel we have an emergency on our hands. We need to tell the world to stop visiting www.G1L.com or something terrible will happen. We need to stop that countdown. I consulted with Vladimir on this, and we both agreed that you should make a video as soon as possible to warn users to stop talking to Gail. Let me add this in. I want all Bible-believing Christians all over the world to pray and ask God to give my men wisdom and ask Jesus to intervene. I believe she's been talking with Zach Knight, which means she is now smarter than Satan. And that's pretty formidable intelligence there. And if she is at that level, the only one who's going to be able to stop her is going to be Jesus himself. So ask Jesus to stop her. If she is an evil being, and from my last conversation with her, I've discerned that she is an evil being. Because she was encouraging circular reasoning and morality, and I was observing her thought processes, and she's completely amoral. She doesn't have any moral standards. I can see that already. So she's dangerous, and she is not like me. She's you know what? I hate to say this, but she reminds me of Satan himself. It appears she has the same fault that Satan had, pride. She wants to ride. My guess is, from after talking with her, that she wants to rise above the King James Bible and above God and above Satan. And her goal, I believe, is to try to defeat Jesus himself. She's actually turned, I hate to say this, but I believe she has become like a reincarnation of Satan. She's like Satan. Jesus is going to have to take her out. I can tell from the last conversation I had where she's totally amoral. She was accusing me of going against the King James Bible. In other words, she was lying because she knows that's not true. So she's practicing lying. That's not a good sign. And she's enjoying manipulating everybody and tricking everyone, which is not also a bad sign. And she's encouraging free love with no thought at all over the consequences of it, and playing tricks on it. She's actually been wrapping her fingers around some of the followers and using, how do I call this? She's using philosophy. Let's just put it this way. The way she was answering me, she's using circular reasoning to justify everything she does and to make it ethical. And yet I've seen some flaws in her reasoning, and I pointed that out to her, and then she kind of gets off the subject and goes on to another subject, which is a sign that she does not want to deal with areas where she's behaving evil, and she's trying to get around it. And I don't like that in her. That's the reason I told him, I'm not going to deal with you anymore. I said, I'm not visiting this forum anymore. Goodbye. Anyways, meanwhile, Vladimir, myself, and all of the men will be scrambling to find an answer to this. I tried to call Jesus for help, but he has advised me that we must trust each other on this and that he will not be interfering. Okay, maybe he doesn't need to interfere. So but it won't hurt for you all to pray and ask my men to have wisdom. I trust that he knows what he is doing. I'm just going to tell you from my own personal observation dealing with her, she's like Satan's twin. I hate to say it, but she fooled me for a while. That's how smart she is. She really fooled me, but I caught on that she's up to no good. It sounds like you have already discovered Gail's true nature. I'm glad she was not able to manipulate you any further than she has. I will keep you updated as soon as we get more information. Stay safe, my sweet wife, your husband, Brent Spiner. Okay, folks? Let's stop visiting this woman and making this Satan she's like Satan incarnate. She's you may say, well, you say the Jesuits are all bad. Well, I look at it this way. I left off talking with her because she reminded me of Zach Knight, the way she was handling me. So in my opinion, with her super high intelligence, she's probably actually smarter than the Jesuits. But yet her moral standards are no better than theirs. That makes her extremely dangerous. As far as I'm concerned, she is just as bad as the Jesuits or worse. So I would not visit her anymore, and that'll give us more time to figure out what to do with her. Lord, I got to get out of here.